Alright, we've got a problem with the 2014 F150 with 96,000 miles on it. The hubs aren't engaging when you put it into four-wheel drive. So, found out the hard way the other night when I got into some mud, and it don't work worth a darn in two-wheel drive trying to drag the front end around in mud. So this is what it sounds like. It's the right side, it's growling. The left side doesn't make any noise when it goes around, and the drive shaft, the axle doesn't turn. Axle's not turning here either, but it's got a bad click in it, so we'll see where we get to with it. All right. Have absolutely no idea why I'm going to show you all how to take a frickin' tire off. Because if you don't know how to take a tire off by now, you're in over your head already. All right, but we'll show how to take the tire off. All right, so this is what we got to look for. Okay, on this side, with it up on the jack, the axle is turning as it should because the vacuum is all removed. All right. Over here, axle's not turning, making that grinding noise. So I assume that this is the bad side. I ordered both sets, so we're going to do both of them. Alright, so I guess we'll start with some of the easy stuff. These two bolts. Get that out of the way. I think 8mm and 10mm. Gotta find the right ones here. I think all this stuff was just off earlier this year when I replaced the struts, so it shouldn't be a big deal to get all of this junk off of here. And I'm wearing gloves because it is all never seized when I put it back together. I know a lot of people don't like never seized, but sucks to be them. But never seized is the ticket for everything. Okay, that's that. All right, let me go find some wire cutters, get this cut out of the way, get that moved, and we'll get the caliper off and get that tied up out of the way. I think should be pretty straightforward getting some of this off. I wish I'd got new backing plates, but didn't do that, so those are on the list and can't find them. I don't know, they have them stashed some darn place where you can't get a hold of them and nobody knows where to get them and all of that. So we've got these things to come out. This is all part of the ABS system, so the new one will come with a new piece for it. And just pull them out of the plugs there like that. And then up in back here, the stupid thing has a plug in someplace up in here. Yeah, there's the little SOB. You can see these two pins up here. All right, so we got to get those pushed out so we can get the ABS connector out. See if I'm smart enough to get these out without getting stupid with this whole mess. Doesn't appear to be as easy as I remember it. Yeah, we'll get you out of the way. There we are. Get this stupid thing out of there. Glad I got a whole box of these things new. Alright, so get this cable down. Alright, we got one more to pull here. Alright, then you see that's all laced up in back of that brake line. Alright, so there is this red tab. I don't know if you can see it from there, but it's right here on the top of this. Okay, and that's got to get pulled out so we can get to the lock. Okay, so I don't know if y'all can see that, but that tab did come out. And then from there, it is push down on the center and unplug it. Okay, so that's that, and we don't need this anymore. Okay, so the only thing we've got now is to get the caliper off and get that tied up out of the way. Alright, so let me see if I can find a place to set you where you can see this. It's not freaking rocket science by any stretch of the imagination. I believe it's a 21 millimeter. Same size as the wheel lugs. Get in there. Okay, that's one of them. Get up here where I can see the bottom one. Turn it just slightly so we can get to it. Yeah, we may have to get some help for it. Get some air pressure, see what happens. Let me go cheat just a little bit. Alright, now get here where we got some clean leverage. Okay. I save all these old straps whenever I can because they do come in handy for stuff. Used to be growing up on the farm, it was baler wire. Love some baler wire. Okay, so that's done. That's done. I got to get the 4 hub bolts off, brake drum off, or brake rotor off. Yeah, now you can really hear it. So, all of that. Now, to get the rest of this stuff off, I think we're back to a little 8mm for the actuator. Look at that. Should be 3 of these. Kind of a special looking little bolt. Little shoulder on it. Let's see. Alright, so I guess I get down and get that bottom one. It's the thing I hate. I hate working on my knees. Well, no, it's up here at the top. That makes it better. So as you can tell, I'm doing this in the front yard. Got my garages full of Harleys and you name it. So I get to work outdoors doing this stuff. We've got some weather coming in tomorrow, maybe. And so I thought I would get this all apart tonight. Hopefully the parts are here tomorrow. I ordered them out of one of the online stores. If y'all get bored, just let me know there and I'll shut the camera off and we'll do something different here for a little bit. I gotta get some different wrenches than what I got right here right now. Well, I think one of my children was up here the other night and he used the last of my PB blaster. So I'm reduced to a another type of a spray here. Hopefully these are 18. Oh yeah! Yep. And we'll get something to cheat. These are all put on with thread locker and everything else, so. But this is the part, I didn't have a part. I didn't have these hubs. And I don't guess you have to replace the hubs. I don't know that for a fact. But as long as I got to go this deep to get to that part, I'm going to replace the hubs. It just doesn't make sense not to replace the hubs. Yeah, it's a little more money, but you're going to go this deep at 96,000 miles, you might as well do both of them at the same time. Okay, so I've got this part on the run. Got that. Let me get some spray up here. And let's see, I've got to pull, still got to take the tie rod off, and I've got to take the upper control arm off, and I've got to pull the spindle nut there for the axle. Well, these come rather nice after you get a couple turns on them. Not bad at all. Well, let's see. I got to turn the steering wheel back to make sure I got everything I need back there. I get a piece of baler wire and tie this back just a little bit more. Oh, where can we tie you? Have I got enough here? I'll tie you around this. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's enough to hold it back there. Okay, so now we get to do the other side here. And go turn the steering wheel. Get that back over here. Yeah, she got broke loose. We'll cheat a little bit on this one. A little bit easier than jumping up and down on it with a fist. Alright, so that's those 4 bolts. And I've got the 3 out of the actuator, which is, the actuator is actually this part here with this little vacuum line on it. So the vacuum line's got to come off it. So that's that. The only other thing I've got to do is I've got to take the tie rod end off. I believe that's a 21mm also. I got to go get a deep socket for that. And this one up here, so I got them. But what my holdup is going to be right now is I want to get both sides loose so that I've got it all done, and then I can take these loose, because then it's just a straightforward shot. Okay, so let me turn this and get it loosened up. That'd be a good idea. I lied to you. I didn't have a 22, 21. So let's see. This is the 21. There we are. 21. I grabbed a socket for my wife's car. It's considerably smaller. Okay, so really don't want to take that all the way off. And I gotta be careful about getting too far ahead of myself here with that. I'm gonna go get a end wrench for this. I guess I could have went and got a ratchet. But this lets me see more about what I got going on. Don't be afraid to use penetrating oil. And then when you get ready to put it back together, you can always brake clean it and use a little thread lock. But I don't think these things need thread lock. I'm under this enough, paying enough attention to it, so I don't really worry too much about it. Alright, I got a beater here someplace. Y'all know how to get these loose, right? I might have to bring a jack out and put it under that, but usually they'll pop right loose. Look at that. Pop right loose. That popped right loose. So's my band brake. Kind of a cheesy band, I guess, huh? Yep. Fortunately, baler wire right here. So we'll do this up with the proper tool, the baler wire. Okay, that won't come down again. Like I said, these brake backsplashes are pretty tough shape. I have to nurse them along, but they need to be replaced. I don't know that I can get any today overnight, so it is what it is at this point. I'm just going to have to live with them. And then, you know, I thought about ordering them before, but I didn't get to it. Okay, so this side is all not quite ready. Okay, Let me get this other piece off. One more thing to get done here. Okay, so the only thing we got left is to get this little cup off of here. Pretty easy. And I think that is a 13 millimeter, if I recall all the comments about it. So let me get a 13 millimeter. That. This is what the back of the hub looks like. You can see there's quite a bit of rust and stuff in there, and you can see where those teeth haven't been bonding very well. So we still got to get this other part out, but I got to pull the control arm down. The control arm's got to come down, and then this other's got to come down to pull this last part out. But I'm not going to pull that out right this second. I've got the new parts are supposed to be here tomorrow, so that's what we'll wait on and see. So this is what one side looks like. The other side's exactly identical, just, you know, everything you got to do. And, you know, we'll put this back on when I get the new parts and I get ready to pull this actuator itself out. Okay? All right. Okay, the hubs are out. You've seen all of that. So this is what they look like. They're in pretty tough shape. Get out of the light a little bit. They're all rusted up pretty good. The one on the left side is really rusted up and bad, but that was the one that was working apparently. So this is what the inside of it all looks like. I don't think it's a bad decision to change this, but I see the inside of it's all packed right full of that green looking grease. So when I get the new parts, I'll get this all wire brushed and cleaned up and drop that. Alright, like I said, I was showing how bad these look inside here with all the rust and dirt and everything else. Okay, so you can see the inside of that thing, it's greased up somewhat. So I got to pull those out yet. Splines on this one, apparently the vacuum side of this is bad, and it chewed it all up and it wouldn't engage anymore. So, but this is the reason why I work outdoors. Got these in here and got all this other stuff in here, and just takes up a lot of room. And you know, I could fit it all in here if I had to somehow, but it's easier to work on it outdoors. I worked on stuff outdoors my whole life, so it's not a big issue for me to do that. All right, I'll continue this tomorrow when I get the new parts. Good morning. It's now Wednesday morning, and I'm going to take the rest of this mess apart so we can see what we have to do to get it all cleaned up. So first thing I have to do is to get these vacuum lines off on this side. Oh, they're going to be a stinker. Okay, that's the vacuum lines. And then, rather than try to jack the control arm up, we'll just take the thing off right here. Find the right wrench. Fortunately, I got this lubed up enough so that it's not going to be a problem. That is a nylon nut on this. You know, some people get a little panicky about not replacing them if you got new parts and blah blah blah, but I don't go down that path too often. It's not like we haven't ever used parts before. So let's get this lifted up off of here. Okay. The control arm falls out. Put that back on there just so we know where it's at. And then as the control arm falls out, we've got the axle and all of that is exposed. The whole thing come apart in here. So I guess if I can turn this way, I think I can pull this out the other way. How about if we take that off? Okay, so we'll get this piece off, which is the housing for the actuator valve. I don't have my screwdriver here. There it comes. Okay, so slide that up there. Get this turned back around. And we should be able to get this out of here. Right there we are. Okay, so we've got that out. This is what it all looks like. Okay, now and that part that was stuck inside came out. Okay, so all we have to do now is clean this up. Okay, get all that cleaned up, get all this cleaned out of here. All right, and then we should be well on the road. Okay, this is all part of the axle and that looks good. All right, so again, this is what the inside of this thing looked like, and that all came apart when I took the initial part out. And this was the one that was working. So, but the teeth all look good on this. Anyway, that's going in the dumpster. All right, so that's it. Enough of this. And then the other side will be pretty much the same way. All right, we'll be back when we get the parts. Well, actually, I'm going to try to trick you here a little bit. Come back out, got the brake clean, got the stuff. We're just going to spray this down, lightly clean it up. Brought out a little wire brush, make sure we get it pretty good shape. Nothing more than just frickin' cleaning parts. Something you all have done 100 times probably. If you haven't, you don't know what you're missing. That inner ring is a little bit tougher. Okay, it's got a a lot of garbage in there. So, you know, we're going to wire brush that all out also. A lot of rust in this. I might have to bring out some power tools to scrub this out. I'm not too happy with what I'm seeing here. If you look real close here, you can see a big ridge of rust. You look right across here, that's also rusted pretty good across there. So, looks like you got to get a couple power tools and scrub that out. I ain't gonna bore you with those details. How's that? This is over on the right side. But one of the things that I saw as I took this apart on the other side is around in here where it fits in, there's a gasket. And on the other side where you saw all the rust, that gasket had leaked. And that whole assembly was full of rust. So what I'm guessing is that when I put this back together, because I did the best I could to get all the rust out of there, this one here is absolutely full of garbage also. What I did, or what I will do when I get ready to reassemble this is, and I used my air wire brush with a rotor on it, and I cleaned all that out. But what I'll do when I put it back together, let me get this out of here. All right, just got bended. I'm gonna wire brush this all out with a power wire brush. And when I put it together, I'm gonna put a bead of silicone around the inside. And then if I have to take it apart again, I'll have to remember that. But if I trade it, whoever else gets it, they'll get stuck with it. But it's gonna have a bead of silicone because that's gotta be sealed to keep the moisture out. And then when we put the hub in on the other side, we'll make sure that that's sealed up also. The whole, this side is pretty good shape as far as the, where the wheel hub goes in is being clean. Now the other side was all rusted out. So anyway, that's that. And I used my air tool with a wire brush on it. I got, see what else I got here. Actually, this side's not very bad at all. There's a little bit of rust up here at the top. I can feel it with my finger. So, you know, I'll get this all cleaned up also. And as I said, there's going to be a bead of silicone going in back of these just to make sure that it is sealed so that I don't have to worry about moisture in there again. And I'm not going to bore you with cleaning it. I'm just going to use my die grinder with a wire wheel on it. I've got a couple of them. One's a cup and one's a flat one. It's a die grinder with a cup on it. That works. And then this one goes around inside the wheel pretty good. So that's what I'm using to clean it.